Just get your mind together.
Well, terrific show for you this evening on The Experience, and a very special show as well, as all of the music that you are going to be hearing this evening in between our different segments comes to us from Zonkeraz and their annual, well, it has become an annual event. They're going to be at the Hanover Theater, their reunion. If you were here in the 70s in central Massachusetts, you certainly know of who I speak, Zonkeraz. So we'll be talking with them. That'll be a thrill. And also we're going to be hearing about the Military Gala Ball, which is coming up. That's right around the corner as well. So a couple of great events that we're going to tell you about. And of course, we never leave the politics out. And Jim, we're glad that you could join us today. Thanks,
Hank.
Thanks for coming in. WorcesterPolitics.com, brand new website, been up a couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks, yeah.
Yeah. What's the reaction been?
Well, the reaction on it's funny. The reaction on the blog has not been really a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
But my phone is ringing and my email is buzzing, and you know, so people are kind of excited about it. But I think they want to feel the thing out. They want to find out, you know, more about
it. Well, you might not have as much action because one of the things that you say is that you don't want it to be sort of this partisan battleground, and you can't call anybody names. And that was the whole attraction to posting at telegram.com, right?
Yeah, indeed. But the thing is, I don't want that because, well, first of all, it doesn't help our country at all. The partisanship is really tearing apart this country. I believe that. And we see it reflected in our children. They go to school, and we hear now all the time about this bullying, and, you know, on tragic notes, kids go home. They take their lives to escape the torment at school. And I really kind of believe that that's just a reflection of what they hear in so much of on the TV, you know, some of the very, very extreme radio shows, people on the newspapers, and people talking in front.
So what do they find at WorcesterPolitics.com?
Well, it's open to people to share political information, their opinions, as long as it's done in a civil manner, and it's kind of solution-based. I don't want to hear talk all day long about this person and that person. I want to hear about issues. And it doesn't have to be, it's nonpartisan.
Right.
So the thing is, I have a poster, one poster joined, and he supports a candidate, and it's irrelevant whether I do or not.
Yeah, and this is where it's not partisan. You, as somebody who wants to write an article supporting a candidate, they can be as partisan as they want to be because obviously they're supporting that candidate. What is nonpartisan about it is that then the very next person who writes on your website could be for their opponent, or could say, hey, you know what, I don't like both of them, and you yourself are not picking sides.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah,
absolutely not. And also, I'm not going to condone people that turn around and when someone presents an issue, then someone responds by attacking the person that presented the issue.
See, that's kind of bucking the trend right now. I think that what's going on right now for all the websites, for a lot of the radio shows, well, even if we look at MSNBC and Fox, certainly at night, what's going on is they want it to be as partisan as they possibly can. They want that friction. They want to kind of grab that niche. Do you think you can find an audience that says, okay, I'm willing to hear both sides?
You know, I don't know. But the thing is, it's not how many people I attract, it's the type of person I want to be. That's what it comes down to. You know, what I want to provide. If I have the means to provide this forum, and I want to provide that, I'm not going to do things based on for the hits because it's not my livelihood. I don't need to. It's just something that I do. And plus, it's kind of like a farewell to this country because I'm leaving for Panama in about 7 years.
That's it? You've had it with America?
Well, I love the country.
You're out here.
Well, I love the country, but the country no longer allows me to live the way that I had planned my future. I mean, the cost of everything has gone up. My 401k, which I still have, but that took a bit of a hit. I saw it coming, fortunately. But so I want to live good when I retire.
Interesting.
I want to live comfortable, and this country is not going to provide it for.
Only imagine what PanamaPolitics.com will look like in the future. Now, this is WorcesterPolitics.com.
Yes.
So not so much what's going on nationally, but really what's happening on the city council.
Right. City council locally. Now you have to include some state stuff because it impacts it, but it's for the city because I'm a firm believer that. You want to change the world, there's only one place to start, and that's in your backyard. You clean up your backyard, then you make a good example for the people around you. They look at what you've done in your backyard. You go out to your neighborhood. And then that's how you change the world.
Yeah, so the perfect time to get it started, because the city council race is really going to begin. I mean, people who are thinking about running for city council really have to be out there right now, starting to get money and starting to plan those campaigns. What do you think about the fact that we see just this power of incumbency? The fact that we do see so many incumbents. There was a lot of talk about change after the city council, for example, voted themselves a pay raise.
Yeah.
A lot of people said, oh, you know, outrage, and what happens? Same old, same old. So, I mean, same faces get in. People decided that there were some good campaigns that were run, but people decided that they wanted to return, you know, the same city councilors that they were, I guess, comfortable with or familiar with. What do you make of that?
Well, I think the first thing that comes to mind is the devil you know is better than the devil you don't, or something like that, the saying goes. But people like to talk. There's a big difference between talking and getting up off their seats and going down and voting. Now, I vote faithfully. I consider it, you know, a great privilege, and I feel that I don't have a right to sit here and talk if I don't vote. You know. So people talk, but they don't want to inconvenience themselves.
Now, you obviously decided that you wanted to do more than talk. You wanted to talk and have a lot more people be able to hear you. So you actually got up and went out and started this website. What made you really decide that you should do WorcesterPolitics.com?
Well, actually, I have family. My brother has a lot of children, and other members of my family have children. And I see them trying, and they're in their early 20s, later 20s. I see them, they're somewhat dismayed about where their futures are going. I mean, they're just dismayed. And I grew up, fortunately, in a time when there was a lot of exuberance and a lot of pride spared in this country. We had our problems, believe me. I grew up in the shadow of McCarthyism. I grew up in the shadow of the Ku Klux Klan. I know that people love to hate and hate to love, but this doesn't seem to. Now, you know, I don't think people are working towards uniting the country. Ronald Reagan said, you can't love the country and not love your countrymen. And I believe that's true.
Jim, and that's probably a good place for us to leave it, but we do want people, obviously, to go to WorcesterPolitics.com. What do you want them to do when they arrive?
I want them to realize that they have a voice, but they need to take that voice and they need to take it to the street, actually, certain issues, petitions, you know, going to council meetings, talking with people.
Fantastic.
Change requires action.
Terrific. Hey, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you very much.
Right.